Okay, maybe we got Mel back on the line with us. Good morning, Mel. Can you hear me?
Good morning. I can hear you well.
Okay. Evidently, we had some type of deal. We just got knocked right off the air. I don't know why, but I brought it all back up fast as I could. And what's going on with my voice this morning? I'm a little bit hoarse for some reason. Don't know what that's all about. But this is Texas Biker Radio number 60. And the title of the show is Release the Damn Video. And I know you've already heard that once, but we'll try and proceed on. Mel, what we're finding out now this week, and we'll just jump into it and talk about what happened this week down in Waco. As we all know, a lawyer has filed suit and trying to get the videos released, and the city of Waco is taking steps to keep that from happening. Now, they keep telling us the video will show, but they keep not releasing the video, claiming it's got an ongoing investigation going. And so we think it's just more foot dragging by the Waco PD. And Mel, you want to make a comment about that?
Yeah, I was going to say, I think based on the latest development, it goes a hell of a lot deeper than that. And here's my rationale on it. If there's an ongoing investigation, and the release of the video could hurt the people they're prosecuting, I mean, you could understand that. But here's the insane part. How could it possibly hurt their prosecution when all that video would show is that they're ultimately guilty of what they're being accused of? I think what's going on here is like you say, it's still a cover-up. It's blatant. And I think the minute that video gets out, I think it blows Waco PD totally out of the water. I think it shows them for what they truly are, what they did, how they did it, and I think it just totally exposes them and makes everything go away that they have made allocations on. That's what I think is going on. That's the only thing that makes sense.
Yeah. Of course, Texas Biker Radio and Sons of Liberty Riders RC are demanding release of the video. And, and we want the unedited version of the video. We don't want this thing cut up and edited to where it just, it may show a few riders shooting at each other, or whatever the fight, whatever fight went down in the parking lot. We just, we don't just see that. We want to see the whole thing. We want to see what those, we want to see what the operation looked like after the first initial minute or so. Go ahead, Mel.
I was going to say the only thing that makes sense out of this on them wanting to withhold that video because of an ongoing investigation would be if the Waco PD was guilty and they were being investigated. Then you could understand why they want to withhold it because they want to look at it. But when you're talking about supposed gang members carrying on all these supposed activities, gang-related activities and murders and executions, there's no way it could hurt their case. So, again, it's a cover-up for what their own officers and whatever other departments were involved. It's a total expose on them.
Yeah, and of course they always talk. They in the beginning they like to talk about all the criminal activities that was going on inside, and all the criminals inside, like the like the Christian motorcycle group, who all those people inside were running. All those people inside were those criminals inside were running for cover. Now, they were not taking part in what was going on in the parking lot, and that video will also show that. Now there may be some in there that were scrambling around as for some type of weapon to defend themselves, because they had no clue that there was any law enforcement that was going to rush in and kill people. Go ahead, Mel.
Well, that begs another question. Is it the feds that are behind pushing Waco to file for that suppression? The feds have stayed way in the background.
Oh, yes.
For them supposedly to be investigating what's going on. When Waco has alluded to the fact that other agencies are investigating this, or it's being investigated by other individuals, you would expect to be hearing something from these other agencies. And it's pretty damn quiet out there. I think the feds may be behind the scenes pushing some buttons here, telling Waco, you need to do this, this, and this. The puppeteer pulling the strings.
Hey, Mel, and that brings to mind, I'm always bitching about when there's a tragedy. All these different law enforcement organizations step up to the mics. They all introduce themselves. They all pat each other on the back. I mean, it's just one after the other. Whether it be the hospital, the first responders, all these people step up the mic to get their 15 minutes of fame. But that's not happening in this case. All these different agencies involved are staying in the background.
Yeah, and usually they demand the publicity because, there's always these jurisdictional wars going on because they need to claim credit for whatever it is they did and whatever activity, because it helps support their budget when they go in and ask for more money.
Yes.
So, again, it doesn't make sense that you're not hearing from these other agencies. It's like everyone wants to get as far away from this as they possibly can, because it's the proverbial stink bomb. It's the skunk in the room, and they don't want to get sprayed.
There's no better way to put it than that.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody just think about it. I mean, in the past, any tragedy that you've seen, and like what's going on up in South Carolina right now, everybody's getting up to the mic. Everybody's getting in on the action. The old saying that the progressive views never let a good tragedy go to waste. So that's but in this case, like Mel said, they're all running for the exit.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are, because I guarantee you, this thing just gets stronger and stronger and stronger. They are doing nothing to try and strengthen their position, which is not good. I don't know where the hell they're going to be able to try this anymore, because the public's sitting back looking at this, and people that were originally all up in arms about bikers, and terrorist activity and stuff like that, in the beginning are now beginning to say, what's going on here? They're Waco PD is starting to shoot themselves in the foot, and that's inevitable in a cover-up like this. When you try to get a cover-up going on to the magnitude of, 9 people killed and several wounded, and you toss 170 some odd people in jail on top of that, that's pretty high profile. And you better have something to back it up. And they messed with the wrong crowd this time because, I would imagine had we all stayed silent and hoped it was going to go away, we'd have played right into what they thought was going to happen. And they were 180 degrees out. They pissed off the biker world by, maligning us, calling everyone thugs and criminals, and making it look like it was some kind of a horrible gang thing going on when we all know what a COC&I meeting is about. And U.S. defenders, it's nothing more than ongoing legislation that we're trying to get passed, or we're trying to come up with new stuff for the next session, both on a federal and state level. And
exactly.
that's an easy one to prove because they can go back and look at calendars and agendas from years back. These meetings have gone on forever. Look at the groups that belong.
Exactly. I know all my emails and stuff that I have that flies around. 99% of it is dealing with legislative issues. They're going to find zero emails about any kind of criminal activities. I mean, it's
pretty damn obvious. I mean, we're what, about a month down the road now, or better than that?
Yes. Yeah, 5 weeks.
What, a month and a half? A month and a half down the road, because this is almost July. And you're telling me that by now ballistics wouldn't be showing something? I mean, at the very least, they'd be saying, we have conclusively proved that 8 out of the 9 people killed were killed by each other or by other bikers. There was no police officer involvement. Have we heard anything remotely resembling that? Hell no.
Yeah.
They're still trying to say they only found 12 rounds on the ground or something like that, or 40 or something like that. You got a lot of eyewitnesses and hearing witnesses that were on the ground, couldn't see what was going on, that were veterans that know damn well what an assault rifle sounds like, and heard hundreds of rounds. And they are still guarding that parking lot to this day.
They are.
Why?
Isn't that amazing?
Are there CSI personnel that incompetent?
And you want me to answer that question?
Yeah.
Many of them are, because I've dealt with that out of Fort Worth, Texas.
It's not like you see on TV, is it?
Yeah, it wasn't so much the CSI person is the detectives. The detectives were worth a damn. So, I've had experience in that, and I have.
Yes, you have. You've had personal experience there.
So it's absolutely amazing what we see going on. I mean, it's just, it's a nightmare for everybody, including us, all bikers. Is a nightmare. Because now when we walk into a place, we're looked at kind of differently now. We're going to change.
Yeah, we saw that on a recent trip.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. And, we purposely went into a Chili's with our cuts on. Everybody turned around and looked.
Yes, they did.
I'm sure we
turned a lot of heads in some of those towns we rolled through, too.
Yeah. I'm sure we gave them a thrill for a moment, but after we sat down and got to talking with everybody, it was just fine. Unbelievable. Hey, Mel, let's talk about Sergeant Swanton for a minute. I wrote a piece yesterday. He's kind of disappeared from the scene.
Yeah, it's what's that game they play? Where's I can't remember his name now. But you try to find this guy. He's in a picture with 10,000 other people.
Right.
I'll think of. But you know what I'm talking about. He has just flat disappeared.
And usually when a spokesperson disappears for an entity like that, he's either screwed something up, or he's got some type of personal conflict or business interest or something. Something maybe we said on All for One Rally and Protest Facebook page. Something was said there hit the nail on the head. Whether it's related to his church, his business, their connections to confiscating vehicles and such. Something's wrong there. And so he's disappeared from the scene. And we want him back. We want him back because he's a lightning rod. He helps move, make our movement move forward. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, any spokesperson seems to have disappeared. It would seem like now all we have to deal with are talking heads. His disappearance reminded me much of that idiot that worked for the State Department that came out with that statement that all we had to do for the ISIS terrorists was find them jobs, and they'd mellow out. And that person disappeared shortly thereafter. So apparently, our good sergeant there made some bad statements and positioned the department not well, or he's turning out to be the scapegoat because the plan went south, and they got to have someone to blame.
Yeah.
But you're right. Heard. We need an idiot out front again to help us get this ride going.
Oh yeah. So I'm sure the Waco PD won't disappoint.
Especially after we get to town, we'll see how many of our riders they try and run off the road again.
That was despicable. That's what that was. But you know what? We'll live through that, and we're coming back. We're coming back July 18th, and we want you guys to join us on another peaceable. I can't emphasize that enough. Peaceable protest to Waco. We're demanding that they release the videos. We're demanding that they drop charges against the innocent. Give them their vehicles and anything you took away from them back with no charge. And if you have charged the innocent, refund the monies you've taken from them so far. And Mel and I in the last broadcast talked about the cost of those ankle bracelet GPS monitors, which is a ripoff.
Oh, let me fill in a little more information there too, Mel, that you might find interesting. We've been trying to investigate as to who owns it, and who's not necessarily. I mean, the name of the company is no big deal. The issue is who owns it, who sits on the board, stuff like that. And it would seem that the person we have gathering the data has run into a roadblock with the tax assessor releasing any and all information relative to that particular company. So,
Wow.
it's being, once again, it's being stonewalled and guarded by local government, which only tends to make you believe that there's some pretty heinous involvement there between whoever is involved in that company, however many of them, and local government. I mean, those are public records and should be easily accessible. I'm sure any company you and I have ever owned, anyone can go in and within 10 minutes identify it and see who was running what.
Yes. But not in Waco. You've got to dig really hard to find out who owns what, who's involved with what. And that's the reason I said that Sergeant Swanton may be knee-deep in this kind of stuff. And who sits on the boards of these businesses and who has connections with law enforcement, all this stuff makes a difference. And it may explain why some parts are why they jailed 170 people. When you have a private jail that needs to be filled so they can make money, red flags should fly everywhere. Go ahead, Mel.
Yeah, I'll tell you, this is just incestuous. It always boils down to one thing, and that's money. And that's what they're trying to do off all the people they tossed in jail. And I think they tried to throw up a large smoke screen to pull a smoke and mirrors deal on their little execution. I think they set those guys up, and I would say, hey, if I'm wrong and they don't like hearing what we have to say and what everyone else is saying, then come up with a little something that makes any sense. Anything they come out with is in total conflict with what they originally said.
Yes.
Their story never stays the same.
It doesn't. It keeps it's fluid. It keeps moving, and of course they're going to say that's because of their investigation that they're doing.
Well, if what they initially asserted was going on, it wouldn't change that much during the course of the investigation. It would be fine-tuned, but the story would remain the same and consistent, and it's not. Again, everything and everyone is being stonewalled in hopes that it'll just go away.
Yeah. And Mel, let me say this about Sergeant Swanton. There's no threat against him or his family. We want him back up there. So there's no threat. So
I don't think anyone's threatened anybody. And if any threats have happened out there, it's some little pocket of your usual Looney Tunes that try and latch onto something like this and turn it into some deal where they want to start a revolution over it. And, that's why we keep preaching the same story. And that is, we are exercising our First Amendment rights. Some would say our Second Amendment also, but we remain pretty staunch that, this is a First Amendment issue. Always has been. Maybe the PD drugged the Second Amendment into it when they started confiscating all the weapons, but it's our First Amendment right to do these protests. And a peaceful protest is far more productive than turning it into a Ferguson or a Boston or whatever. You don't accomplish anything but make yourself look as bad as the other individual. You're getting right down in the gutter with them, and you want to stay on the high road. Nobody says you got to be there as a pansy. Certainly, if something happens or, any aggression occurs, you need to stand up to it. But you go in like any self-respecting citizen does, exercising their rights and their freedoms and expecting redress as guaranteed by the Constitution. And that's what this is all about. And that's all you're going to hear us talk about.
That's right. You go in peaceably, and also when you leave, the place is as clean or cleaner than you found it. We're not, let me tell everybody right now, and they're going to be blunt about this. We're not the right color.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I don't think that can be said enough.
Yes, we're not the right color to have the law enforcement turn a blind eye. The Justice Department to turn a blind eye. And then turn around and vilify the police and then come in and rescue us. That's not in the cards. So we have to use the wonderful tool that the founders gave us. That's the Constitution, the Bill of Rights. We are there using our First Amendment rights to peaceably assemble and seek redress. And that's exactly what we're going to do.
And I think we've been pretty damn successful so far, don't you, Mel? I mean,
yes, we have.
I mean, I don't think we can take credit for a lot of stuff, but I think we can take credit for having put pressure on and things started to happen. It's all cumulative.
Yes, it brings tremendous pressure. It also, at the same time, makes Waco, who has spent millions of dollars on this mess that was created by their police department and their judicial system there. The taxpayers are taking it on the chin there, and they will continue to do so. But you know what? Every time we come back, it costs money. Especially if they're going to hide law enforcement in the background. They got to pay these guys. And we're letting them know that. This is no secret. And so this is what we're going to do. This time around, though, we're going to have some speakers that are going to speak to the crowd. And so we're working on that now. Who that's going to be yet, I don't know. We're trying to decide who it is we want to speak to us. And we'll, if you have any suggestions, you can throw it at us. But their time and schedule and everything else has to fit. Go ahead, Mel.
Yeah, we want to make this, we want to take it up just a notch. And like Mel said, have some speakers there to bring more meaning. We've kind of mellowed into this in the beginning because it is a little ways off. And when you start promoting something like this, you don't really start getting it whipped up until just 2-3 weeks before. Because it's far enough out there, it's tough for a lot of people to plan for. But we've had a fairly good response. We've got a holiday coming up, July the 4th. We figured, let's get past this, and then let's get really serious about getting this whipped up. Because in order for the press to be paying attention to what's going on and things like that, when they see that number start to go up of people that have said they're coming, and people that have been invited, that's what piques their interest, and that's when they want to be there. They want to ride along. They want to interview, stuff like that. If we only have a couple hundred people there, it's going to be a lot tougher to get the press involved. And press, yes, we think, is key to this thing. and is essential to keeping the pressure on, because they're the ones that are going to ask the questions. And if they smell blood, they will go for it because they want the ratings. You got writers out there that want Pulitzer Prizes, and when they think they've spotted a trail of blood or they can smell it, they're going to go for it. And that's what we want to create here. We're not trying to create anything false. We're trying to turn the bloodhounds loose on the right trail. And the right trail is, there was a lot of treachery that went on in Waco. There's a lot of crap that continues to go on. That city seems to run on that and has run on it for years, and we think it's time to stop. They messed with us, but they've been messing with all kinds of other citizens, and It's time for everyone to get together and rally on this, because it's not just the bikers at stake here. It's anyone that passes through Waco, anyone that lives in Waco.
And in the coming weeks here, we're going to be going down and we're going to interview some citizens from Waco and see what they have to say about it. Also find out what Waco was like before all this happened. Did Waco have a gang problem, or did they have some type of problem that the public doesn't know about? I mean, because before this, all you saw was the fixer-uppers on what's that, HGTV or something like that they were running around down there fixing up houses. Everything's great in Waco. Well, maybe not so much. Maybe not so much. But like Mel said, we want to get through this holiday. We want everybody to have a wonderful 4th of July, a safe, wonderful 4th of July. And then let's come back and get ready to go to work. We need to take another large crowd down there with us again. Their storyline is falling apart. And we've got to get the media involved and push it over the edge. And we need your help to do that.
So when you see us starting to put stuff out there on that Facebook page, All for One Protest and Rally, well, the part that you can play in that is we need you to take that and, say you'll go, invite your friends, and share it with everyone you know around the country. This isn't just Texas. This needs to be national. I mean, when we were down there, I came across a guy right away that came in all the way from Nashville. He recognized the issue. We had messages from New York. We had a wish you well from Sweden.
Yes,
they're fighting problems over there too. So this needs to be all over. Don't think just Texas on this. Think the country, and share with everybody you know.
Exactly, Mel. Exactly. Let's talk a little bit about Sons of Liberty Riders, who we are, and what it is we do. We are a riding club, an RC, that happens to be involved in politics. This is what we do. You can find us in the State House. You can find us maybe in Washington, D.C. from time to time. We've been there. You can find us where any veterans being trampled on, like the BA mess that went on and continues to go on to this day. You can find us any place where the Constitution is being trampled on, like Waco, who somehow has lost their way. maybe it's the power, the power there by local government authorities has gone to their heads. They can just make the laws up as they go. But that being said, that's what we do. We do political work. We latched on with U.S. defenders and worked with them diligently on motorcycle safety issues. Nothing else. Never heard a word about any kind of criminal activities. Never saw a sex slave. I mean, these are the things we do. And we were proud of the work that we did in the state legislature along with U.S. defenders. And let me tell you, they were going to be proud that day at that meeting because SB 754 was on its way to the governor's desk.
And has since been signed.
Yes. The fact is, I think it was signed before they had the meeting.
Yeah,
so
it could
incredible
be.
Stuff.
Could be.
Yeah, it was 6-6 that was signed by Governor Abbott. But we'll continue to push. I mean, we'll continue our legislative work because all those state legislatures know better. They know of the work we did. It don't matter. Like I said last week, it doesn't matter on the last show. It doesn't matter whether you're a bandito or whoever. The people that were working in the state legislature were dedicated to motorcycle safety. All the proclamations that's been received at the cities all across the state. Incredible thing. Matter of fact is, I think they got a proclamation the day after the event at Twin Peaks, or the weekend after. Emil, you want to add anything to that about our group?
Yeah, everything you said. Plus, if you want to know what our name stands for, Google Sons of Liberty. There are lots of articles out there about who the Sons of Liberty were. We're the Sons of Liberty Riders, and the reason we add riders to it is that the original Sons of Liberty were a group that I think gained their initial fame in the Boston Tea Party, but we are representative of modern day Sons of Liberty. So we have kind of morphed from the horseback revolutionary days to the iron horse days. We are iron horsemen. So that's why we refer to ourselves as riders, Sons of Liberty Riders. And if you read those articles, you'll see what and who comprised or made up the Sons of Liberty, what the Loyal Nine were all about, and how that all came about. And that's what we pretty much pattern ourselves after and the way we try to conduct ourselves. And we've got a pretty wide age range in our club. We go from the 20s all the way to the 70s. And the neat thing is the greatest percentage, or a great percentage of our club are veterans. And those that aren't are still very patriotic. And we all believe in the same things. We stand for the same things, and we conduct ourselves accordingly. And we're always looking for a cause. And Waco jumped out there, and we knew we needed to do something about it. And that's what we did. And we will continue to do things.
Yeah, when you read about the Loyal Nine, you'll see where it all fits. And we're talking pre-revolutionary days, or revolutionary days. The Sons of Liberty. you can find all kinds of Sons of Liberties on the internet right now because there's Sons of Liberty clubs out there, riding clubs or MCs.
There's a lot of them.
We're talking about, yeah. So everybody, Mel, that's about it, buddy. We hope everybody has a great weekend. It is humid outside. Let me tell you, that rain that came through last night, they're talking about a cold front. I can't tell if it's cold out there, but I can tell it's humid as hell.
Yes, it is. It is humid. I am not feeling any chill at all, let me tell you.
Nah, it's like you're in a Louisiana swamp is what that's like.
That's right.
And
that's right.
Everybody, we're going to play a new song we've uploaded, and so as a matter of fact, it's on our video at our homepage, sonsoflibertyriders.org. You can go there and see this video with the music, and everybody have a great weekend. Mel, catch you later, buddy.
You bet. Yep, catch you later.
It's the tactics that they favor. They have to